Hey.
Hey.
We are live for number X installment of the collective of the GG Gazette. So let's
I think we're in the 30s now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's like 30, 50.
Let's call this 30.
30, 10. Like I count like my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Last week saw me pretty busy. I had a lot more think work. You know, we want to be digging in. We got to process a lot of information. We also want to be creatively thinking in regards to the stuff with Bodhi, coming up with good ways to just tell people about it. You know, the more people that know about it, the more it matters. We want to keep it relevant and then allow it to actually gain traction. And as people offer it utility, then we get to we kind of get to reap the benefit of that, right? We get to as people that were holding Miranda's assets or people that got in on the initial sale. That's the way the whole meme coin thing works, right?
Yep.
It also works by people coming up with good memes. And Dee Lewis has been crazy. This is one of the more tame ones, but it was just like one I decided to pull out and highlight for the time being.
I love him.
It fits really well. He's got maybe a dozen of them already, maybe more. He's got some neat ways of bending classic imagery, classic gifs to the cause. So what it does is it gives us a bunch more memes to choose from. So when we're going to somebody's X post saying, "Hey, I'm about to drop $5,000 on a meme coin. Which one should it be?" You know, the content creators are hyping their own channels up by saying things like that. You know, they get tons of people piling in on their posts in order to be able to shill their memes. But they're also being really serious. You know, like they're looking for something that's going to be good. And I want to say that 8-Bit Tendies has been awesome at keeping us apprised of when those things are going down. He's all over the X feeds and just giving us a heads up anytime someone's doing something. I love that one.
Their whole X page is just, I mean, it's so funny. Oh, it's great. No, yeah. I mean, I think so. Earther left this comment. I think that'd be a good little one to touch on, just kind of, you know, what is going on with Bodhi, kind of the TLDR behind it. So, you know, for anyone who might not know, long story short, Bodhi was essentially the community's idea of, hey, we can launch a meme coin that's purely a meme coin, no utility to it, with the pure intention of using these funds to facilitate hiring on some of the old Miranda's team and building our own game, because we like the people who were building it. We thought they were talented. The direction they were going, we were in favor of. And so, you know, we can only, it goes back to the core thing of, you know, we can only control what we can control, right? But we have the ability to sell a meme coin, and everyone knew, hey, the purpose of this is to potentially fund the beginning of a new game. Obviously, you know, building a huge game, especially if you're trying to go the MMO route or something like that, you know, that takes tens, if not, you know, $100 million, years of development work. Like, you know, that's not, we don't want anyone to be thinking, oh, they did this little Bodhi raise, they raised $350,000 and now we're going to have an MMO coming right away. That's not the case. You know, people's expectations need to be realistic, but more than anything else, this was our way to, hey, we can start this project, start bringing in the team to start building ideas, building out some sort of base. Maybe they want to go and get VC running and go a traditional route. I mean, that can be kind of to the discretion of, you know, whoever owns that IP. But essentially, these funds were raised. They were then contributed to the GG Collective, who is essentially just going to be the steward of these funds. So all the money raised from that is sitting in a multi-sig account, and those funds will be purely for the release, to pay for the development of these games. So hiring on developers, you know, from past projects and things of that nature. So we are, working through the process right now. We'll have more information regarding the specifics of, you know, who that
Well,
agreement is,
yeah.
members are part of it. Jay Hughes is going to be a part of it. There's a bunch of other members that we're going to be able to bring in. So we're in the process of going through the contractual phases, trying to get everything aligned, but we should have some cool news coming. I hate to say coming soon. So just stay tuned for things are moving.
One bit of news that we can talk about right now. You were mentioning that it's not going to be a full-fledged MMO launched right away kind of thing, and that's true. But they're also not going to be going the route of building out the MMO entirely before they're able to launch something. So it's been talked about since the beginning, having a smaller game that kind of takes place within the world that they're developing, that then grows into the bigger game. And that's I think that's one of the things that I've seen from a lot of the other successful games right now that are out there. They've all done some sort of very minimal sort of presence. It might not even be the game that they intend to be. If you kind of look at Star Atlas and you're looking at Star-based right now, Star-based is very it's not graphics intense. It's not at all what the grand vision is, but it does get the community thinking about the economic circumstances of the game, and it allows people to engage the game in an economic format that they can be crafting, they can be harvesting, they can be doing things, and the flywheel's already spinning. There are people that are putting in the time, and that time is able to be converted into resources, which ultimately can be converted into money. So it's so something small is expected to come first, and the word there was months, not years. So this is a team that knows what they're doing, and they could put something together with relative quickness compared to a lot of the other teams that are out there that started with one or two guys that had some experience coding but didn't really know what they were going to be doing, or even if they did have a plan, they just had never taken something on like this before. These are guys that have been in the industry for decades even, and so once it's all lined up, they just put their head down and make it happen. And so we can expect something, and we can expect to be giving you guys news about something also pretty soon. So as we know, and as we get cleared to say things about it, we will be keeping you up to date and letting you know what's happening.
Another good question from Earther here. Yes. So, another part of this, for those that might not know, we did a huge airdrop of Bodhi to asset holders from Mirandus. And yes, that did happen. If you have any questions about it, we have in our Discord in the Bodhi announcements, you can see all the information. Jesse Lawboat did a really good job of spelling that all out, giving all the links to make sure you did get your claim, how to add the token if it's not showing up. And if you're having any other issues, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, and if you're a part of it, I mean, you've already got Bodhi. If you have Miranda's assets or had them back on April 1st, you've got Bodhi now. If you want to join the cause, you can just start grabbing some Bodhi memes. You don't have to make your own. You can just copy paste some of what we've got there, even if you don't want to know.
There's a bunch in the light paper, in the compass. If you go to the website and look at our light paper, the compass, we just have a bunch of them in there that just copy and paste them, use them. So
that's bodionbase.xyz. If you get in there, you can see all that stuff, or you can just go to the X feed and copy something out of there. We actually hashed out something reasonable to say that wasn't going to be setting off any triggers. We hashed that out in the Discord server the other day. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick so we can just quote it directly. But it's what happens when a CEO fires the AAA dev team behind his flagship MMO and the community rallies to salvage the situation? Meet Bodhi. So we can just say that. I mean, that's legit, and it really what it does. I started off on that quest there because I wanted to come up with something, just a tagline that you could put there that didn't force people to read too much, but it also gave an interesting enough background to what is Bodhi. Why Bodhi instead of what I'm seeing Crow with Knife a bunch these days. You know, why Bodhi instead of that? Why Bodhi instead of Dog with Hat? Why Bodhi instead of Pepe? Bodhi's got a real story. Bodhi's got something that's already in the works. Bodhi's something that affected a bunch of people prior to its launch. Even this is all about the people that were affected, not necessarily the people that want to be affected. So we would love to see Bodhi succeed in order that there could be some sort of restitution, or as it were. No, that's not even the right word, but to like it said in the statement, to salvage the situation, to make something out of
us. Who like no one got Bodhi for like none of the founders would ever took any Bodhi.
Yeah,
you know, like no one was deploying this for themselves. You know, it was as fair launch as we can make it, and here it is. So
yeah, and then immediately the reins were turned over to the collective, so that this is going to have a community voting presence. It's going to be led by a single person the whole time, but the idea is that the direction of Bodhi is going to be brought to the collective. It's owned by the collective, and the collective is a community. So, so rather than have it just be something that's easily ruggable, like a lot of the other meme coins out there, we're looking at a project that's taken steps to be very transparent and to be very obviously helpful to the community that it's attempting to benefit. So if you had Miranda's assets, you've got Bodhi, unless you happen to be the Gala store or something like that. Exactly. You know, we didn't drop Miranda's assets to the Gala store, or to Bodhi assets to the Gala store, or the vault, or anything like that. So you can get involved. There's a few different things. Like I said, there's that tagline. Can you flash up that third one there? Jesse's just been posting this one on his Twitter feed. That it's just a simple meme, you know, something that a familiar image with new language, and kind of he gives the historical background as to why we called it Bodhi. You know, it's Bodhi based on Bodhi McBoatface, right? So just something like that. Once again, it gets people thinking about it. There's a reason behind this. There's thought behind this. This isn't just flash in the pan. This is something that's been constructed with a purpose and with some creative design in the background. And we want people to read that and want to know a little bit more about it. Okay, wait a minute. So there was something that went on there's something going on with a game. There's AAA developers involved. What is this? And by not spelling it out for them, first of all, you're not being a pain in their butt and forcing them to read a wall of text, but you're inviting them to come in and just take a look, and then to find out like how cool the idea actually is. And shameless self-plug. I just hopped into Discord over the weekend, and for some reason Spider King threw down some kind of rhyme at me. He's like, "Family man, drop the beat," and then he just like started putting some rhymes down, and I was like, okay, response. And it didn't come together instantaneously. I don't have that kind of flow, but there's a little 12-line rhyme that if you want to get really excited, you can toss that out somewhere because it's fun.
Spit some bars. Love it.
I'm 48 years old and I live in Idaho. I am not going to perform that for you, but I did put a request out there for 8-Bit Tendies to do it because he is amazing with music. I would love for him to get creative and do that, like completely hands off. It's all yours if you want it. I just wanted to retort when I got challenged by Spider King there. I had to represent the U.S. We don't need any Scandinavians coming over here and showing us that their rap is better than ours.
Exactly. All right, well, let's look at some games.
Yeah, well, there's actually a great segue into games because along the lines of representing Bodhi, Lawboat is going to be setting up a guild within Spellborn in order to be able to, first of all, get people involved in the game, but also to spread the word there. So Spellborn, you might not have seen it yet. It's currently in an early access launch. So in order to be able to get in, you have to own one of their assets. For the first bit, you needed to have one of their apartments, which is the equivalent of their land NFTs. But what was it last Friday? They made it so that if you owned any of the monster NFTs, and they've got 3 different varieties of the monster NFTs right now that qualify here, you can get into the game and just start playing Pokemon. Essentially, it's a Monster Hunter type game. You have you have a one that you start with, and then you can go out and capture more. They have different items that you can use to heal them, to cure them from any kind of illnesses or effects that get landed on them from whatever that happens within their combat, their battles. But there's it's still so early with this one is the thing that's really compelling about it. Like they recently posted that they eclipsed the 200,000 battle mark, and so 200,000 battles. I can get in that game and crank out like a dozen battles in like maybe a half an hour or something like that if I'm really focused on it, And so that means that there hasn't been that much going on with it as far as people piling in, and some of that is probably due to the NFT restrictions. But if you want to have an opportunity diving in on something that could really start bringing in people again, like it's the graphics are simple. Obviously, it's the pixelated like 8-bit style, but you've got pixels to look at that has seen like incredible success because of its simplicity, its partnerships, and its UA in regards to the way that they're publicizing the game, and also the way that they're maintaining the economics of the game. They're not just dumping token on people all day long. You actually have a way that you can get it, and you also have a way that you can get more of it. So like as more games start to learn how to throttle the emissions of their tokens, we're going to be able to see more balanced economies. And then it's really going to be about whether or not people are enjoying the game. And lots of people like Pokemon. And lots of people like the throwback retro style that we see there. That almost it's like a Super Mario version.
Mm-hmm. So, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So we're going to be giving updates of that, especially once the guild gets going live. We'll have some stories, I'm sure, to tell about exploits within the Spellborn universe. Also, we have our arcade team. They recently updated Glugger. Glugger's the tapper version that they you're serving beers to people that are coming down the bar. I can remember when that was in the arcade. I was terrible at it. I'd rather pump quarters into the old like Ghostbuster game. I don't know. Did you ever play the Olympics game? Where you're never mind.
No, I don't think I did.
Did you ever play in an arcade that actually had
games? Yes. I was.
It
was on the young, but it's been one of those things too. Like there's a bunch of. I remember there's a, in college when I was at U of O, there's a massive arcade bar, like basically right on campus, where they, basically just went and refurbished all the old games, like the machines, and have them there. And so I've not only there, but I remember going over to Seaside on the coast. They had a huge arcade. They still do have it. And growing up, we'd go out there a couple times a year, and it was always a blast.
All right, so they're running contests, and they're paying people. These are skill games, and if you're the best, you can win. It's
you place on the leaderboard.
They've got different leagues too, right? Is it 5 different leagues now?
Yep.
The addition of
depending on your skill rating.
Yeah.
They also have, they have their in-game store that's going to have more things. Like they have some things already somewhat explorable. The full-fledged store is going to be coming out, so you can spend your Cadence store. You could use credits in the store. There's you can cash out and take your real money out, right? And so it's Ourcade is super cool. It's just ourcade.io. We've been working with them just to kind of help give them a platform and a community to test their project. And this is still in its very early stages. But Doc has been a community member. We've known him for a while now. I mean,
Yeah.
great guys trying to push a really cool project that is really fun. The games in there. I mean, I was a huge like on the computer, just playing Cube Runner was like my favorite game ever. And Cade Runner is quite literally just a cooler version of Cube Runner. And like I love endless, just like moving back and forth. My heart gets racing so much, and I love it. But no, Arcade is great.
We did mention skill. It's a skill game, so I get locked out of it. I'm in Idaho, and apparently there are struggles with that you can't play skill games for money in Idaho. And so they've actually taken the time to identify where the legislation's at, and they're blocking certain states in the U.S. So hopefully you're not in one of those states. Hopefully you guys can get in and enjoy and compete. But I'm personally glad to see it. They took the time to make sure that they're above board. They're doing it the right way. You have I don't know. You can show the image of what I see every time I try to get into the game.
Yeah. So this is, I also see this as well in Texas. I'm in the same boat. It is just one of those things where, trying to, if you're doing it the right way, you're going to come across, it's like 6 states that don't allow it.
Yeah.
Or something. And Idaho and Texas are 2 of them. So
yeah, we get to represent 2 out of 6. It's awesome.
Exactly. Yep. But one other, last little thing on Ourcade is they, you can join Team Bodhi on Ourcade, and you can play as the Bodhi Knight. And so, another just kind of application showing that anyone can kind of utilize, if you want to make a Bodhi character, do it. Like, it's awesome. You're probably going to bring some of that community over and get them to try out your stuff. So, I mean, what we can do, everyone can help each other, right?
Yeah. Interoperability is just the possibilities are huge. I'm really looking forward to coming up with some plans to get in with these games that already are heavily involved in interoperability. We look at pixels that you can just like take a PFP project and they'll adapt it to their art style and they'll mesh you in there. I'm sure there's a lift for that. It probably takes them a bit of work to make the art happen. But if it's legitimate, and they can see that it's going to bring a community to their game, it's worth the time. So we can. I'm looking forward to the possibilities there, and I'm going to be working to that end as well. Just trying to establish connections, come up with good ideas, good reasons for people to partner up with Bodhi.
Yep.
We also have we get to talk about NFTD. We had recently it was just actually last week after we got done with the show. Timbo Slice announced the Cube Tower, that Vox holders are going to be able to place the Cube Tower in the game. You can see that it shoots lasers.
Yeah, it's pretty overpowered. It's cool. Another, just speaking about NFTD, I mean, we've talked about this before, but we hired on, 5 of the artists from the Miranda's team to help us with NFTD. So, we're doing a ton of work in the background right now. Should have some degree of a deliverable to kind of start showing and having people play around with here in the next couple weeks. Let's say 2 weeks, kind of at the max. So we're really excited. They're an absolutely amazing team to work with. So good at what they do. Just so the vision they have, just being able to be like, hey, this is kind of our vision for the game. Just watching them, take it in all the different directions that they can take it artistically, and it's been really cool to work with them. So it's NFTD has been a really cool experience.
Yeah, it's amazing that just to see how it all just came together. Like it was, it was kind of a surprise to me for sure. Like, and when we heard about it just ahead of the hackathon, they started kind of talking about it. I'm sure they'd been working on it a bit, but like those guys partnering up in the background, and just the three of them, and they put together something that's doing some amazing things functionally. We're finally getting to see utility for some of this stuff, and it's a challenging game. That's really what we need. We just need games that don't break. We need games that make sense, and then you build a community around those games, and you can do all sorts of things to make it fun, and keep it relevant.
NFTD makes it easy, right? Because we're trying to make it include, like, if people come to the collective and they're like, hey, we really want to see, oh, like this project died or this project isn't really doing a ton. Could we make some sort of tower off of this NFT series? I mean, the community's gonna be able to have that input. We have a whole list of either projects that we feel were rugged or aren't necessarily up to par as far as what they said they were going to be doing. We're like, these people are out there, still holding on to this for some hope of something. Well, hey, let's at least try to give them a game that they can come in and play and have fun with. I mean,
and it doesn't have to be a rug either. If you see, Tim dropped a little hint in Discord as to the next one that's going to be coming up, or one of the next ones that's going to be coming up. Can you get that image number 4 there, or number 2? He just posted this up and pointed it at Jesse, and we kind of like chatted back and forth real quick as to what it was. Jesse had his mind on some other things, so he wasn't sure what it was. And then I was like, dude, doesn't Seed Starter have NFTs? Where are we at? There it is.
Maybe we do got something cool on the way.
I mean, that looks kind of Seed related. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're right. It doesn't have to be a project that's been pulled out from under people necessarily. That can be part of it, but I think it really is just tapping into, there's a lot of strong communities out there that, hey, if we're not trying to take people away from those communities. We're just trying to give them more. Just be like, hey, you want to come play our game too? You get a cool bonus for being a part of this ecosystem or whatnot. So,
yeah. Again, it's similar to the PFP interoperability. The PFPs largely didn't do anything. Maybe they gave you like access to someone's DAO. Maybe they had plans to be involved in a certain metaversal concept. And that's, in a way, I'm looking at Pixels, and Pixels has kind of become a metaverse because of the interoperability that they've demonstrated. Now you're wandering around. There's a basic chat feature. If you wanted to do that, you can definitely connect with people through Discord or something else. You can work together in guilds, and you can use your PFPs from a bunch of different projects. They got just a laundry list of them. So
pretty cool.
It is cool. I'm hoping to see us ride the same kind of wave. Like just building communities by tapping into other communities that like we can help them enjoy what they've got even more. Like it's not just, and it's definitely one of those things that has to be mutual, and we look for ways to do that. You don't have to be too creative in order to come up with things like that. Other games out there, we've been giving you updates week by week recently for Neon Heroes, and they're really starting to heat up. That we knew that there was going to be a token coming out, the Neon token. They were able to announce on the 15th that Bybit is going to be their official listing partner. It's going live tomorrow, so actually, like for me, it's going to be 3:00 in the morning, but it's 10 a.m. UTC. and so they're going to be distributing a bunch of the token to the people that that earned it in their play to airdrop season 1. They have there's other qualifiers for distribution, and they've done a bunch of other things as a result of that. Bybit is also going to be setting up a launch pool for them that has 2.76 million yuan in staking rewards. So yeah, this is thank you.
It's not
there.
financial advice.
I'm not telling you what to do about it. I'm just saying that it's happening. So things are moving. Things are moving for this game. You know, the game itself, again, like Overwatch style shooter, 6-on-6, objective based. Right now, they're still, and this is still pre-alpha even, but the game is very playable, very fun. There's a lot of people that are down on the MMR system. That's something that they're tweaking. The matchmaking is a bit lopsided sometimes. And you, like I said last week, they launched with the intent of only allowing solos or duos into the 6-man team as a preset pairing, but there were a lot of people that complained about that. So they wanted the 6-man teams back in order to be able to do what they had been doing from like an esports kind of perspective. You know, you have you have a full team of 6. If you drop back to just 2, so you got one of your buddies from your 6-man team that you got used to playing with, and then you have to pick up 4 other people that could be scrubs, and then that could just absolutely like shatter your rating. So yep. People wanted to be able to have it be more consistent for their skill level, and so I have not run into a 6-man team that is like really good. I've run into some solos that are phenomenal that I'm just terrible and they shred me, but most of the time, at least at my level, you're seeing that there's a range of characters, a range of quality in regards to the abilities of the players, and so it's hard for me to gauge any issues with the MMR. It's really, I'm hearing these arguments at the upper level, so I'm not sure how valid they are. Sometimes people just complain about matchmaking, but it is definitely something that they said they had to make some adjustments to. So they're seeing something, and hopefully they'll be able to fine tune that. Because Bybit,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Game is gonna have. I mean, I've played countless games where I'm like, I'm getting matched up with the worst people imaginable. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I feel like I'm playing with a 5-year-old and someone with one finger on each hand. Like, how is this possible? But then and then patches come out and they're like, oh, we're rebalancing, you know, our skill-based matchmaking because it's off. You know, okay, sweet, thank you, and they fix it. You know, that's
we'll be able to see as time goes on and the population for the game grows. You know, obviously matchmaking benefits from a larger sample size, so we'll be able to see whether or not they actually need to make adjustments to the system, or if it really is just a population issue, that there's not enough people logging in all at the same time in order to be able to make sure that you're all at the same caliber. But it like I said, it does seem to be getting a lot more attention, and so. Like, I've been able to get into games. Like, when I first started playing, there were some games that they'd never connect because it timed out. That hasn't been happening. Every time I log in, I've been getting a game. So, and I don't log in all the time. I get to play a couple games a week or something like that right now, which is a shame because I'm like totally getting shafted on the airdrop. But I got other things to do. I am a family man. Yes, it wasn't just Bybit that dove in on this. As soon as that kind of noise started, there were some other people that perked their ears up and wanted to get involved. So they're going to be getting listed on Gate.io, on HTX, and on the Backpack exchange. I haven't used Backpack. Do you know anything about that?
I have not used it either.
My understanding is that it's Solana backed. So anyway. they're not just going to be on Bybit is the thing. So if you already have an account on any of the other ones and you want to take part in what they're doing, that should be a little bit easier since they've got a little bit more exposure. HTX, I noticed that in the HTX announcement, they're saying they're expecting there to be a trading competition there as well. So people that don't care about the coin and just like the idea of the trading competition, there's an opportunity for you too.
Nice.
Another game we talked about Wild Forest, I think 3 weeks back. I mentioned it, and I was having a hard time getting any kind of information for it because I was locked out. I was trying to get in on. I use BlueStacks as a what do you call that? A
emulator.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I use BlueStacks, and supposedly BlueStacks works, but it might just be the version that I was using. I could not get into the game at all. But just a couple days ago, they released a build for PC and Mac, so I was able to get in and start fiddling around with it. It's a fun little RTS. It's all like forest based, very cartoony, anthropomorphic forest creatures running around and slaughtering each other. But they have season 1 of their play to airdrop campaign over at this point. So those earnings are all going to be become like the points that you gain from that campaign are going to become the WF token. They're in season 7 for content. This is something that a lot of these games are seeing, that they'll have like play tests and they'll call that a season in regards to content. So right now, it's funny that says use the Fog of War, because that's actually the Forge of War is the name of season 7 right now. Yeah, so the play to airdrop season 2 is active right now. You can get in and you can progress through the game, and you'll be able to work towards next time. But right now, there's no airdrop live. The last one closed out. Yeah, I'm loving the fact that you're able to get those gameplay scenes up here, because my description is like horrendous at this point. But as an RTS, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a big fan of the Command and Conquer RTS that they came out with for mobile, and apparently that one did not go over well at all. Like everybody was expecting the next installment of Command and Conquer for desktop, and they wanted something huge, and then they roll out this idea of a simplified mobile game, and most people just like raged against EA and decided not to get involved. But there is a small community of players that have gotten really, really good at it, and it's quick, it's fun, and it's really skill based, because you need to have a complete knowledge, like working knowledge of the units and how the weaknesses and strengths work against particular units, or else you'll just get overrun by the people that do know the game. I got into a game, and I'm pretty sure that early on the game, it's just like bots I'm playing against. It took me forever to beat these stupid bots because I just can't figure out which guys that I need to build right away.
Yeah.
But I can also see that it's only a matter of time before I understand the strengths and weaknesses. I understand why I build that building, why I build a barracks there instead of a tower or whatever, and then just start moving like my troops across the field to take down their castle or their fortress or whatever. So the game is totally worth checking out, and now it's accessible, because even if you couldn't get on it on mobile before, they do have the PC and Mac builds. They're going to be doing a pre-release NFT sale here on the 23rd. Now this is all they're running whitelist spots for this, and in order to be able to get some of those spots, a lot of those spots are already locked up based on a gameplay from season 1 of the play to airdrop. but also they have a PFP called the Wild Forest Lords. Lords, people holding Lords NFTs are being given whitelist access to this upcoming thing as well. Now, they haven't mapped out all the utility for Lords yet. A lot of it has to do with whitelist access and gameplay access. So it's definitely like a gating kind of token. But you're going to be able to pick up Lords in this sale as well. But not just Lords. These packs are going to be coming with NFT versions of the in-game characters that you build in order to actually like attack your opponents, and they also come with unique skins here. You can see that the Spirit Warrior skins for this particular iteration. So anyway, anyone interested, that's going to be on the 23rd. If you want to get a whitelist spot, dive into their Discord now. They're doing a bunch of raffles, so you can get involved that way and hope to get a whitelist spot. I don't know what their plans are. It's likely that these things don't make it out of whitelist, that the people with the whitelisted spots end up snapping up everything that they can. There might be a public sale as well afterwards. We'll have to wait and see. Another game that I'm really enjoying, just because I really like Clash of Clans, Heroes of Mavia is an ETH-based battler like that. And they upgraded the version 2.3.2 just this past week. They were queuing on some optimization issues for particularly the mobile platform. The Ruby Marketplace launched. We talked about that last week. So you can actually like use your rubies that you've earned in the game in order to turn your characters into NFTs. Now, that was like really bogging down their system. There's a whole lot of complaints about how difficult it was to get into the marketplace and be able to get stuff done. But I think as they were looking at all that, they also like just looked at gameplay in general. So if you've been playing it on mobile, go ahead and give it a try again. It should be running a bunch smoother. A couple last things that we want to touch on. Golden Tides, the what was I calling it? The pirate extraction MOBA.
Yeah.
They actually they got back to their internal game night on Friday, and they started inviting players again who have the Gen 1 skins. So if you're a Gen 1 skin holder, and the floor on those is still pretty low. If you want to get in and just like play the game, test it out. They're going to be running another test this coming Friday, the 24th. They said, so we can look forward to that. If you want to get in and learn what it's like to kind of get the feel of the multiplayer aspect. Yeah, if you have the Gen 1 skin, they will give you access to go out and play, but they don't have the full multiplayer experience live all the time right now. You can just kind of like run around the world, kind of open world style, look at stuff. And you can perform the objectives, and there are NPCs that you can get in combat with, but it's still pretty basic. It's a pretty big world. There's a lot of mechanics as far as movement and fighting and stuff like that, even like jumping and things. But it doesn't have the same feel at all of what you're able. Like I've only observed at this point with the multiplayer, but that's like there's some real excitement with that as people get introduced to that, and you're not just like kind of like humping around the world like sailing. If all of a sudden you have to consider where to park your ship because someone's going to come scuttle it with cannons, like that. I don't know, it just makes the game that much more fun. I want to talk about we've mentioned Pixels a couple times. I just wanted to give an update as to what their media schedule looks like for this week. They're doing an X Space tomorrow about mastering your niche, which is it's all about focusing on the things that you are best suited to crafting within the game. There are some people that are going to do the jack of all trades things, but one of the things that Luke has been suggesting is find something that you're really good at it and just do it to the fullest. Yeah. So Whereas like he showed the difference between like Heidi's stuff and his stuff. Heidi kind of has a little bit of everything. She's definitely got a lot of trees in there, but she also like has a little bit of everything going on. He was like pretty much straight mining. You know, he's doing everything that he can to get the tier 4 mines and to be able to get those tier 4 mine resources as well. So it's going to be a lot of work to get to those points. So people that do actually reach those higher echelons are going to be able to kind of benefit from being the only ones that can get that stuff to the market. So that's what they're going to talk about for that. And then there's going to be the weekly live stream on Wednesday as well. And that's 2 p.m. Pacific. If anyone wants to like kind of tune in and see they do a State of the Union kind of thing every week. So those things are, you know, but yeah, the governmentally they shouldn't have the monopoly on that. You know, we do it. This is kind of a State of the Union address.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, like, yeah, you know, this is what the collective's up to. This is what's happening. Anyway, yeah, we want to hear what you guys have to say as far as games to cover. This is really about you guys. We want to give news to people that actually want to hear news. So if you've got something that you want us to cover, that you want us to dig into, or just kind of like start talking to other people about because you're already into it and you think it's worth sharing, let us know about it. We'll keep on with the ones that we have. You can see that we're kind of like grabbing new games one at a time or a couple at a time and bringing them into the fold, and then we're going to keep updates going as something significant happens for their ecosystem. Please feel free, let us know what you'd like to see in here, because there's a lot of games out there, and it's eating an elephant, man, one bite at a time. You got anything?
No, I think that's. I mean, it feels like there's no shortage of new things to be looking at and whatnot. But you know, the hard thing is not to find a game; it's to find the game, right? So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Hopefully we start talking about it before it becomes that, so you guys get a little bit of a head start.
100%.
All right, guys. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, we'll catch you later. All right. See you guys.
See ya.